At this point in the tutorial, you should now have a solid understanding of the reasons for and the processes behind color correcting your footage. In this lesson, we're going to explore some of the creative aspects of color grading that will influence how your viewers feel about your characters and the world they inhabit. Because at the end of the day, anything you do with color must serve the story you're telling. I'll be working from the Lesson 21 timeline. At the risk of oversimplifying a bit, let's take a look at shot 2. If I reduce the brightness and the amount of red, then push up the blue, what emotions would you associate with this look? In the context of this story, this shot could denote a cold and unforgiving environment where our female protagonist has to prove herself in a playing field dominated by men. However, if I reduce the blue, then pushed up the red channel and the brightness, the shot now feels warm and imbued with hope and a sense of possibility. If this shot followed a scene that showed a major setback of our character, this might be our choice of color. One very useful tool for quickly applying looks to your clips is a lookup table, or LUT for short. In a nutshell, a LUT is a mathematical calculation that modifies the YRGB values for every pixel in the image, then recalculates new YRGB values to produce the look. And even as that comes out of my mouth, it does sound a bit highfalutin. A better way to show you this is with visuals, but you'll need to bear with me. Select shot 11, then go to the Scopes palette and select Histogram from the menu. A histogram displays the relative distribution of the image's red, green, and blue pixels on a 10-bit brightness scale from 0 to 1023. When viewing images in the histogram, I find it more useful to view the brightness values as percentages. From the Options menu, choose Waveform Scale Style, Percentage. Black now starts at 0% and ends with pure white at 100%. Here you can see there's a fairly even distribution of red, green, and blue data across the spectrum, but the majority of red data is sitting higher in the luminance range, between 40 and 70%. The majority of blue and green data is sitting between 40 and 60%. The histogram is telling us that there's more red in the upper midtones and highlights. And if you look at the image, you can see this. The majority of brighter reddish pixels make up at least half of the frame. Well, actually, it's more than that. According to the histogram, they make up about 60% of the image. I'm showing you this because the histogram is really a picture of the YRGB makeup in an image. Now I'll reduce the gain in the red channel until the graph matches the position of the green and blue graphs. Then I'll drag on the Lift Master control to crush the blacks. Notice the high spike at 0 on the graph. That spike tells us there are now pure black pixels, but not too many of them, barely 1%. In the image, those pixels refer to Leslie's black visor and this onlooker's jacket. Drag the Gain Master wheel to bring up the white levels until you see a tall spike at 100. These are pure white areas in the image. This represents this featureless camper in the background. So how does all this relate to a LUT? Well, I'll show you. Disable the node and look at the histogram. Now enable it and examine it again. The YRGB graphs, aka its values, have been completely modified to produce the look. So I just did manually what a LUT does mathematically. And that's how a LUT works. Reset the node grade. Now let's look at a few LUTs that are built into Resolve. In the upper toolbar, reveal the LUTs browser. These LUTs come pre-installed and are organized by category. Lookup tables have many uses. They can be used to recalibrate a display device, recalculate the color space of raw or log camera sources, and for the purposes of this lesson, used for creative looks. Most of the LUT categories listed here are used for color space conversions for a particular camera manufacturer. For example, the Blackmagic Design category contains LUTs that are designed for their line of cinema cameras. Move your pointer over the thumbnail images to skim the LUTs and preview them. A tooltip tells you what the LUT's input and output is. Here's one that's designed to be used on 4.6K footage with a film gamma profile, then convert it to a Rec 709 profile so that it looks good on an HD display. If you skim over the LUTs here, not a single one of them make the footage look good, because they were designed for a specific type of image recorded on a specific camera. There's another category of LUTs that are used for creative looks. Select the Film Looks category and skim over a few of them. These LUTs have the words Fujifilm and Kodak in their names because they're designed to mimic the gamma curves of a particular film stock. To apply a LUT, right-click on the thumbnail and choose Apply LUT to Current Node. Scrubbing over the clip shows a LUT that creates a very high contrast look. To remove a LUT, right-click on the node and choose LUT. No LUT selected. You can also apply a LUT from this menu. Choose LUT, Film Looks, then choose one from the list. These are the same ones found in the LUTS browser. Because LUTs are basically one-click color grading operations, there's no shortage of creative LUTs you can download from third-party vendors. Resolve makes it easy to install these LUTs, then makes them available for use in the LUTS browser. Right-click on the node for clip 11 and reset the node grade so that we're starting with a blank slate. Open the Project Settings window by pressing Shift-9. Then select Color Management. Scroll down to the Lookup Table section, then click Open LUT Folder. A window opens that shows you the exact location on your computer's file system where Resolve stores its LUTs. With the parent LUT folder selected, create a new folder and name it Rocket Stock Looks. Open a second Finder window on Mac or an Explorer window on Windows, then navigate to the Resolve Project Files folder you downloaded for following along with this tutorial. Locate the Rocket Stock LUTs folder, select all the LUTs inside, then drag them into this folder. These are free LUTs that are available from Shutterstock.com, in case you're wondering where they came from. Go back to Resolve's Project Settings window and click the Update Lists button. Click Save to close the window. If you look in the LUTS browser, there's a new category called Rocket Stock Looks. Skim over them to see what they produce. I like this one labeled Fusion 88. I'll apply it to the node. By the way, if you want a more representational thumbnail, right-click on it and choose Update Thumbnail with Timeline Frame. With a LUT applied, you can start grading. But wait, not so fast. Before you begin, it's critical that you understand that a LUT is creating a look based on the image data that you are feeding it. LUTs are basically dumb. If you feed them garbage image data, they will output garbage looks. For example, if you apply a LUT to a clip that has not been normalized or color balanced, it will affect the look. Right-click on the node and choose Add Node, Add Serial Before. Just so we're not confused about what node is doing what, label Node 2 LUT, then label Node 1 Base Grade. Disable the LUT node, so we're only viewing the uncorrected image. Let's quickly white balance this image by using the Auto Balance eyedropper on the area that's supposed to be white. Now re-enable the LUT node. The LUT we applied looks completely different than when it was applied to the uncorrected image. As I said, LUTs are dumb, which is why you should always keep your corrections separated by nodes, so they can be isolated in the image processing chain. So now if you want to grade the image further, you would select the LUT node, then add a serial node after it. Name this one Final Look. Using the offset controls in the primaries bars, let's push more blue into the image to give it a cool color wash. Then pull out some of the blue in the lift to neutralize some of the blue in the shadows. Once you're happy with your look, you can save all your work into a LUT that can be applied in the future or even shared with others on your creative team. Right-click on Shot 11 and choose Generate LUT. The number of points refers to the number of samples taken per color. In general, the higher the point number, the more accurate the LUT transformations are. Let's go with a 17-point cube and save it to the Rocket Stock Looks folder, and name the LUT Cold Blue Steel. Back in Resolve's LUT browser, right-click on the Rocket Stock Looks category and choose Refresh. The custom LUT you just saved now appears in the LUT browser. Select the last shot, add a serial node, select the serial node, then apply your custom LUT from the contextual menu. Well, with that, I'll bring this section on the color page to a close. In the next lesson, we'll turn our attention to professional sound mixing using the Fairlight page.